I'm making some spice rub seasoning blends out of wild foraged honey locust seed pods and some garden grown herbs, some thyme, oregano, and rosemary that I dried last week in my slow cooker to make them nice and crispy. We're combining that with turbinado sugar and pink Himalayan sea salt to allow it to stick to the meat or dissolve seamlessly. We are going to use these honey locust pods. Honey locust is this beautiful, spiky, menacing tree that drops these amazing, huge pods, and we are using just the pithy part of the pod for this recipe, which smells just like molasses or like a tangy honey. It is gorgeous. So we're not going to use the seeds for this recipe. We're just using the pithy part of the pod, and we're going to take those pieces and put them into a mortar and pestle and grind them up. You could also use a coffee grinder for this, probably a lot more effective with a coffee grinder. It took quite a bit of elbow grease to get these pulverized in the mortar and pestle because they are so sticky and fibrous with natural sugars. It was a little bit difficult to get them to grind up, but we got there eventually. Blended in our herbs with the whole jam here, and I did sift this several times to make a real fine powder. I did not videotape the sifting process, but just a fine mesh strainer will do ya here. You want it nice and fine so that it just smooths right into whatever you're using this blend on, with the sugar and with the salt, which will dissolve in with the fine powdered herbs here. So this makes it a really easy spice to use. You don't have to worry about little bits and pieces up in there. It'll dissolve right into whatever you're using it on. So once we have it all blended here, I'm going to be using it today just to make a nice simple little vinaigrette. But like I said, this can be rubbed onto your meats or your proteins or used in sauces. Here I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil, some apple cider vinegar, my favorite vinegar, delicious, and some water to take the edge off of the kick of that vinegar. And I'm just going to whisk it together, and this is going to make a lovely dressing that I can use on coleslaw or other salads that I'll go ahead and put it on later. So there you have it, honey locust, herbs, salt and sugar. Nice, simple recipe.